Hello again. I'm back for another rundown on firearms use and firearm care, especially after the gun owner is done with his shooting at the range or wherever, or hunting and everything. I used to hunt, but I just prefer to go out and just shoot at dead targets and everything like that. But that's me. What I hold in my hand right here is the 300 Weatherby Magnum, and the model of a Weatherby Vanguard Deluxe rifle. 300 Magnum, 30 caliber, but Magnum in a Magnum form. It's a very strong mule-kicking rifle. It didn't take me long to realize that the first time I pulled the trigger on this thing. It's fun to shoot, but it needs to be clean after that's done. So the first thing that I do to clean it is I pull back the bolt. This is a bolt action. Press this back on the left. There's a little button there on the left that I press and hold it down so that I can extract the bolt. I want to make sure that I'm able to give this rifle the thorough cleaning that it deserves for care. You might not feel like getting out all the cleaning stuff after you finish shooting that given time or given day or time, but you don't want to let it sit dirty with all the residue that's left from the powder after it's burned, because if it stays inside the chamber, inside the rifle barrel, which is where the riflings, that's why it's called a rifle, because it has rifle lands inside the barrel. And if you leave powder residue in there, there's an acidity that can adversely affect and even cause damage to the lands or the rifling lands that run through the bore of your barrel. You don't want to do that. You want to try to get, maybe the next day or two, take it apart, which is what I'm doing right now. I've already taken out the bolt. That's the first start. And then I take my screwdriver so that I can remove the trigger guard, which is this. You want to remove the trigger guard. Oh, I'm glad this thing is magnetic. Oh boy, stubborn. Okay. Okay. Trigger guard comes out along with the cartridge spring mechanism that enables the next, if you put in 3 or 4, I think the maximum in this rifle is 3 rounds you put in, and this spring mechanism you see at the top is the magazine mechanism, spring mechanism. After you fire your first round, you pull the bolt back, which is again, this right here, extract it, and it automatically, the spring will shove out the emptied cartridge, and then push the bolt back home and close it, and it sets and it pushes the next round into the chamber so that you can prepare to fire the gun and fire the next round in your rifle. Okay. And there's the barrel and its trigger mechanism that you see here. Now I want to go ahead and safely remove or set aside my stock, a beautiful Turkish walnut stock. Try to avoid putting dings in it, things like that. I try to keep things looking handsome as best I can, without making, you know, ugly mars and stuff on the finish if possible. All right, the next thing I do, I spray in my Hops brand rifle barrel cleaner in my tip. Okay, I'm gonna have to remove. I've got too much rag here. 30 caliber is 30 caliber is a little bit too narrow for certain amounts of cleaning rag that you run through. You don't want to end up getting it stuck where you have trouble getting it out, getting it to run through. That can be a pain. You know, I start from the shooting end. Just push it all the way through until I get it on the outside. See, it's all the way through. It's cleared the barrel, and then I ease it out. Look down it. Well, I can see a little bit of the rag that is left in there. I don't want to leave that. Let's see if that did the job. It did. Then I replace that. And the next thing I want to do is I want to oil it. Putting in a fresh, clean rag. And there's Hops brand gun oil. Squirt just enough on there. You don't want to overdo it, as I was mentioning in a previous video production. When I was cleaning, giving the presentation about cleaning this Colt single action army revolver, not to let too much oil be in the chamber. That creates too much pressure when the gun is fired. And I'll run it through like so. You should feel just enough pressure, enough resistance that you know that it's making good contact with the lands or the rifling inside your bore. That means that you're being assured of getting sound cleaning of the inside of your barrel. It might not hurt for me to just run a little bit more in there. Not much, just a hair, smidgen. As I said before, you can overdo anything, and that would apply to oiling a firearm as well. Not too much, not too little, but not too much. Then do the same thing was just done. Look inside, and you can see a very clean interior. Yes. And what's next? Well, you just do the reverse of what you started with. You begin where you ended. Okay, making a mistake here. And I think what needs to be done now is this. Yeah. Then this goes in. Turn the bolts or the screws. Uh-oh. Now we're cooking. Well, I thought we were. Maybe not. Okay. Now, replace the bolts. Well, yeah. All right, the only thing to do now is to put this back in. Well, guess what? There's a certain way to do that, and I didn't do it right. Didn't do it right. Thing is very deceiving, very tricky. The action housing is in wrong. I need to probably etch something on there with an arrow or something, so I'll know exactly how to remember how to put it back in. Yep, that's where I did wrong. There's a V, a cut of a V shape, and it needs to be facing the top of the rifle's action, not at the bottom. That's why my bolt was hanging, and I was trying to extract it or shove it home. That won't work. Let's see if we get better results this time. Yes. Clean. As I said before, if you care anything about your firearms, and they ain't cheap. The good ones aren't. And I don't want to buy Saturday night special cheap junk. I want to get the right stuff. But the key is making sure that you do all you can to take care of your firearms. Don't neglect them, because if you neglect them, they will not be kind to you. Thanks for watching.